Okay guys, the highlights from our live trading chat room at GreatStockPicks.com from January 22nd. Now on most Sundays, in this case Monday, because Monday was a holiday, we send out kind of a list of stocks that have our interest at least for early in the week, and as I said, we add charts as we go. But CLF was one of them. I'll take today's candle out of it, that kind of felt like was breaking this flag here and that the calls should be watched today. Now you see that nice move there. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't get CLF, but I'm proud to say I got that WLT. I kind of felt like I missed CLF, so I took WLT, called it in our chat room as a sympathy play. So that's the reason got that one instead of CLF. But this is what it looked like. Called it basically on this candle as it was spiking here. The entry 36.87. Worst case stop, low of day. I wanted to give it some room to catch up to the other calls and without having to stop out, and this one can be tricky, so went ahead and put the stop at 36.53, which is 34 cents below. You see what happened. We got a nice move, little pullback, and then just ripped and closed near the highs. Went all the way to 38.82. That's almost $2 move on 30-something cents risk. It never came close to stopping out. So sort of that's how I played CLF from the video last night by doing WLT. Also called it as our SMS trade for the day. We have members that just get SMS picks, text messages to their phone, and called it in that same 36.80 something area, and the stop never got hit. And so got a couple nice emails from I can't say it. You know what I'm saying. Text message people today for the trade in WLT as well. Other calls from today, First Solar. This one hasn't really rallied in a long time, and we all know how First Solar can move at times. It's just been grinding lower. Nice bounce off of 30, though, on Friday. And so today, on an intraday basis, I basically called it when it looked like this. I like this spike to 30.79, 30.79 again. The early high was 30.86. So here's my thinking. We basically get over 30.80. We're probably going to take out the high of the day. And maybe this time First Solar can rally. It rallies nicely at times. Anyway, the call was 30.81, and there's the trigger. Then we get our high of daybreak, and a nice move, little pullback, and then ended up closing near its highs too. First Solar goes to 31.67, 86-cent move on 14 cents risk. Pretty nice one there too. Akamai, AKAM. The reason for this call is kind of it's a unique setup. Okay, this is what it looked like when I called it. Well, not really, because at the time I called it this candle. It's hard to draw here. My mouse is set really fast. This was solid red candle, okay? So it looked like that. I looked out a little bit on the chart and said, this has decent support right around this 39.50 area. You can see it all right here, right? And you have what we call intraday shape. You got this push down. So I went ahead to get a low risk entry. I switched to 2-minute candles. I'll do that now. And whenever I'm looking for an intraday reversal at support after shape and volume on the intraday chart, what I want to see is a stair-step look, and you definitely have that here. That's what I call a clean setup. So I'm looking to go long the first break of a previous 2-minute candle's high. The high of this candle I'm hovering over here at 39.54. So the long idea was 39.55. You can see the trigger right there. Worst case stop goes below these two candles at 39.47. So only 8 cents risk. This doesn't look like much either, but look at that. It ends up going up to 40.09, I think, at its height. A 54-cent move on 8 cents risk. And, it's kind of cool to look at the chart now and, know that method basically picked the bottom clean right there because you had support, intraday shape, and a very low-risk setup. JC Penney's. I like this one. It's been when it moves, and then today one of our members kind of chat slapped me and said, hey, what about JC Penney's down here? You hadn't broken a previous 5-minute candle all morning. You had the really nice rally on Friday afternoon. So it's at a place where it might turn, okay? This 200 moving average on 5s also. So we just went ahead and called it long at 18.47 with an 18.39 stop, looking for a turn, and look what happens. Doesn't look like much, but it triggered, held the stop, and I think at its best went to 18.86 right here. Still not bad. 39 cents a share. Speaking of coals, ACI also, I got on the coal train, if you will, called ACI because the other coals were strong. And I'll couple that with ACI had this, let me take today's candle out of it. ACI had this really big move on volume on Friday. So when we were doing really well in WLT and I was watching others do well in CLF, I went ahead and switched and thought I would check out ACI because it was in my memory from the weekend chart, and it looked like this. It looked like this at the time, right there. And I thought over this base, it might catch up and get through the high of the day as well. So my idea on ACI was 761 with a 750 stop. So there's the trigger, and look what happens. Gets through the high of the day and just rallies with the rest of the coal. So we were watching the right group today. And I think that might have been, I had one stop out in Best Buy for a dime. Best Buy was really strong today, and I called it long. Actually, I say a dime, but I ended up killing it basically flat. Called it long right here around 1535. I like the fact that it was this green line here is significant on my 5-minute charts. That's where the 8-period moving average is on my 15-minute charts. Sort of an X-ray technique I use to know where it is while I'm looking at 5s. Called it a 1535 with a dime stop, and it just did nothing. So I ended up killing it just for a couple penny loss. But even those in the chat room that got stopped out, it was only a dime risk. And had a trade in Leap at 572, right about where my arrow is here, and it went quickly to 580, and then did nothing else the rest of the day. And I think that was all of my calls from the day. So really nice day. Actually, a rim call, got about a nickel out of it here, and then I looked away, and then look at rim closing. So closed pretty strong. It still feels weird going long rim anytime when the chart looks like this, though. So anyway, really nice day. I'll quit babbling, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.